There's a moment when your eyes meet hers and everything around you slows. The noise fades, your chest tightens, and suddenly you feel pulled toward her, like an invisible thread is dragging you closer. Instantly, your mind begins spinning. What should I say? How do I impress her? You stand straighter, you move in, and like most men, you rush to prove yourself, trying to earn a smile or approval. But here's the hidden truth. The harder you chase, the more power you lose. Attraction doesn't grow from pursuit. Attraction grows from presence. It's not about running after someone. It's about becoming the center they naturally lean toward. In the next moments, I'll show you a simple yet powerful shift in how you carry yourself. You'll see how small changes create a natural pull that draws others in without effort, without games, and without scripts. If that shakes what you thought you knew, stay with me. This is where it begins. The hidden error that silently kills attraction. Imagine this. You notice her across the room. A spark fires in your stomach, almost like a quick jolt of energy, and your body reacts before your mind has even thought it through. You straighten your posture, smooth your clothes, maybe rehearse a quick line in your head. Step by step, you begin moving closer. But here's the trap. The moment you open your mouth, you stop being yourself. You slip into performance mode. Your voice shifts slightly, you speak faster, you crack a joke to fill the silence, and after every sentence, your eyes scan her face, searching for signs of approval. To anyone else, it just looks like a man starting a conversation. But to her, the message is crystal clear. Please like me. Please give me a sign that I'm enough. That hidden energy is what drains your presence. It's not that talking to her is wrong. It's not that wanting connection is bad. It's that when you approach with the need for approval, everything flips. She feels she has the higher ground and you're left in the weaker position, working to earn her attention. Most men miss this because they're obsessed with words. They believe attraction lives in the perfect line or clever response. But attraction is not built on lines. It's built on the state you bring. Women pick up instantly when your energy is chasing rather than grounded. This is the mistake almost every man makes. Thinking attraction is created by chasing validation. In truth, the opposite is real. The more you push to prove yourself, the less magnetic you appear. Why? Because desire does not rise from neediness. It rises from calm, quiet certainty. Think about people you naturally admire. They don't beg for your respect. They don't run after your attention. They are simply rooted in themselves. And because of that, you lean in. That is exactly how attraction works. When you drop the performance, when you stop nervously trying to prove your worth, everything changes. The tension in the air vanishes. The conversation feels open, light, even fun. She relaxes. You relax. The exchange becomes one between equals, not a test you're trying to pass. And this is the raw truth. Attraction doesn't reward effort that comes from insecurity. It responds to a man who doesn't need permission to feel valuable. That steady presence, confidence without noise, is what sparks real desire. Be the center, not the chaser. Picture space for a moment. The sun doesn't run around trying to keep the planets close. It doesn't shout for their attention or beg them to stay. It simply exists with such natural strength and energy that everything else is drawn to it. The planets orbit because the sun is steady, powerful, and constant. It doesn't try to impress, it shines, and that's enough. Now look at how most men approach attraction. They do the complete opposite. They chase, they change their plans to be available, rewrite texts again and again, spend money they don't really have, all in hopes of pulling someone closer. But here's the problem. The more you chase, the less power you hold. Instead of being the sun, you become the satellite, spinning around someone else's gravity. And when you're orbiting them, you're not the one in control. True attraction doesn't come from chasing. It comes from being centered, from having your own weight. That weight is built through your purpose, your focus, your values, and the life you create for yourself. When you're living with direction and standards, people feel it. It shows in the way you carry yourself, in the calmness of your presence, in the fact that you don't need to prove who you are with constant effort. This is why the same pattern plays out again and again. The man who tries too hard is often overlooked, while the man who is fully absorbed in his own world, focused on his work, his passions, his growth, ends up being noticed without even trying. He isn't putting on a show. His energy carries weight. He is the center. When you chase, your body silently says, "You are the important one, and I must win you over." But when you're centered in yourself, the message is completely different. "I already have a full world. You're welcome to join, but I don't need you to complete it." That message is magnetic because it shows abundance instead of lack. Think of how it feels to be around someone who doesn't need your approval. You feel relaxed, you're more curious. You lean toward them because they're not pushing you. That's the secret. Pressure repels, but calm gravity attracts. The truth is simple. You don't need to chase anyone. You don't need rehearsed lines or desperate effort. Your real power begins when you stop circling around others and become the center yourself. Chasing makes you the follower. Being centered makes you the force everything else orbits. The core shift, the pull of empty space. Now that you see why chasing weakens you and why real attraction works like gravity, it's time to uncover the method that flips the script completely. I call it the pull of empty space. The name may sound mysterious, but the idea is very simple once you understand it. It begins with one simple rule. Stop chasing. That means cutting out the subtle habits that quietly give away your power. No more firing off multiple texts when she hasn't replied. No more inventing fake reasons to pass by her desk or walk her way. No more forcing extra laughs at jokes you don't even enjoy. No more endless explanations just to sound smart or entertaining. Each of these actions may look small, but the message they shout is loud. What you think of me matters more than what I think of myself. When you stop these habits, something unusual happens. You create a space, a gap, an emptiness. And here's the paradox. This empty space has pull. People feel it. The less you push, the more they notice the calm energy you leave open. It's like silence in a conversation. Sometimes the pause speaks louder than all the words. But stopping the chase is not enough. The second step is redirecting your energy back into your own life. All that mental and emotional energy you are spending on watching your phone, rehearsing lines, or rearranging your world for her. Take it and reinvest it in yourself. Train your body. Focus on your career. Build skills that excite you. Laugh with friends. Create something meaningful. This isn't about being selfish, it's about becoming full. When you live this way, you no longer look like a man waiting to be picked. You look like a man already alive and already complete. That fullness is magnetic. The third part is presence. When you are with her, or anyone you're interested in, show up fully. Listen to her words instead of preparing your reply. Look into her eyes steadily but softly, without trying to force intensity or approval. Allow silence to exist. Pauses don't need to be filled. They can carry weight. This shows that you are relaxed in yourself, not desperate to keep her entertained. And that relaxed presence is one of the most magnetic signals you can give. Finally, let attraction rise on its own. Don't force it. Don't panic if she doesn't immediately give signals. Don't rush to push things forward. Trust the process. Gravity doesn't beg. The sun never says, "Please orbit me." It simply shines, and the pull happens naturally. Now, let's be clear on what this is not. It's not pretending not to care. It's not acting cold, manipulative, or vanishing just to look powerful. Those are games, and games are still chasing because they're built on trying to provoke a reaction. The real method is honest. It's about placing your priorities in the right order, your mission first, approval second. When you live this way, you shift roles. You are no longer the man running after attention. You are the man standing firm, so grounded and complete that attention begins running after you. That is the pull of empty space. Power in the workplace, leading without chasing. Let's bring this idea into a real-world moment, because theory alone doesn't shift behavior. Imagine you're at work, seated in a serious meeting. The room is full, your boss, colleagues, maybe some new faces, and yes, she's there too. The woman who sparks that pull inside you the second you notice her. Now think about what usually happens in the old way. The instant your eyes catch her presence, your behavior quietly changes. You raise your voice a little when you speak, hoping she notices your confidence. Every time you contribute, your glance slides toward her, checking for a smile or nod, like a performer waiting for applause. Maybe when the break comes, you just happen to stand near her, pretending it's coincidence, but really planning every step. Beneath it all, the motive is simple. I want her to notice me. I want her approval. Here's the problem. Even if your words sound polished and professional, your energy is telling a different story. The signal underneath says, "Your attention is my scoreboard. If you like me, I win. If you ignore me, I lose." And that signal carries more weight than anything you say. That kind of energy feels heavy, but not in the good way. It quietly lowers your status. It shifts you from a man of purpose to a man of need. And trust me, she will feel it. Even if she can't explain why, something in her will register the imbalance. Now let's flip it. Let's imagine the centered way. Same meeting, same room, same woman. But this time, you don't bend toward her energy. Your focus stays where it belongs, the actual purpose of the meeting. You only speak when you have something meaningful to add. You don't inflate your voice to command attention. You use your natural tone, calm and grounded. Your shoulders are relaxed, your breathing steady. You're not scanning the room for reactions. Your words are aimed at solving problems, not winning approval. And your body language? Neutral, balanced. You sit where it makes sense. You take notes if you need them. You engage when appropriate. There's no hidden agenda woven into your movements. Then comes the break. The old version of you would orbit the room, timing your steps to accidentally cross her path, grabbing a drink just because she did, or forcing a small opener to create contact. But the centered version. You move naturally. Maybe you head to the coffee machine because you want coffee. Maybe you talk with a teammate about the project. Maybe you sit quietly with your notes. None of these actions are performances. They're simply real. And here's the shift. Without you trying to engineer anything, she begins to notice. She sees that you're grounded in your lane. She sees that you aren't chasing her gaze the way others might. That lack of need creates a void, and in that void, curiosity is born. Suddenly, she's the one who drifts closer. She's the one who asks you a question she could ask anyone. She's the one who lingers a little longer than necessary. What's changed? Nothing on the surface. You didn't add more effort. You didn't push. You didn't act attractive. You simply stayed centered. You came for the mission, not for the validation. And that difference is magnetic, because it is felt, not spoken. This is why the principle of the magnetic void fits so powerfully in professional spaces. People can feel when you're steady. You don't have to announce your worth or try to impress. Your calm presence does the work for you. You stop spinning like a satellite and instead hold the place of the sun, steady, strong, unshaken, while others naturally find themselves drawn into your orbit. Owning the room. Attraction without effort. Let's step outside the workplace and into a more relaxed scene. Picture this. You walk into a party. The music sets a steady rhythm, loud enough to create energy, but soft enough that people can still talk without shouting. Groups are scattered around, friends laughing in corners, people chatting over drinks, some standing alone just observing. And then you notice her, the woman who instantly pulls your focus. In the old way of doing things, this is the moment when your mind starts running. How do I get closer? What should I say? Maybe I'll compliment her. Maybe I'll ask her about the music. Should I grab a drink to look busy first? You start scanning the room for her, keeping track of where she moves, waiting for a chance to make your move. Each time she laughs at someone else's joke, you watch closely, already planning how to copy that effect. When you finally go over, your smile may look confident, but underneath, you're tense. You're working hard to keep her entertained. You add extra jokes, you nod too quickly, you adjust yourself constantly based on her reactions. To her, it doesn't feel smooth. It feels heavy. Not because you're not interesting, but because the energy behind it is needy. You're chasing, and chasing always carries weight. Now, let's flip it to the centered way. Same party, same atmosphere, same woman. But this time, you're not treating the entire night as a mission to win her attention. You're actually enjoying yourself. You talk with friends. You laugh at things you genuinely find funny. You move around naturally, joining conversations as they happen, without overthinking. You're present in the room, not trapped in your head writing imaginary scripts. And then it happens. You and she cross paths. Maybe at the drinks table, maybe through mutual friends. This time, you don't jump in like a salesman delivering a pitch. You meet her eyes calmly, hold that contact for a moment, and greet her like you would anyone else. Simple, grounded. A real human talking to another real human. You say hello, you let the conversation breathe, and you don't rush to make it go somewhere. Sometimes the talk flows for several minutes. Sometimes it's short. Either way, you're not secretly scoring yourself, wondering, does she like me yet? You're listening. You're speaking honestly. And you're fine with however it unfolds. Now suppose you exchange numbers before the night ends. This is where most men slip back into the old pattern. They leave the party and instantly turn their life into a waiting game. They stare at their phone, hoping for her reply. They refresh her social media, wondering what she's doing. Their entire mental orbit starts circling around her attention, and soon enough, that pressure kills the spark. But the scented man, he goes home and returns to his rhythm. His work, his training, his friends, his projects. If she texts, he responds naturally. If she doesn't, he doesn't spiral into worry, because his worth doesn't shrink when her attention is absent. His life is already full. And that fullness, that independence, is magnetic. People can feel it. This is the truth most men miss. Attraction doesn't grow out of performance. It doesn't reward trying the hardest. It thrives on presence. In any social setting, whether it's a party, a bar, or a casual gathering, your biggest strength is not being the loudest voice or the smoothest talker. Your real strength is being the man who enjoys his own night, who connects naturally when the moment comes, and who doesn't need to force anything. That calm presence is the field. That is magnetism. And that is what people lean toward. Online flow, how to keep your power in texts and socials. These days, attraction doesn't stop when you leave the room. It keeps going through texts and social media. And this is exactly where many men slip. The moment they get her number or follow her online, they fall into habits that quietly announce neediness. It shows up like this: replying instantly, no matter what they're doing, sending a second message when the first one hasn't been answered, reacting to every single post or story, and checking their phone again and again just to see if she's read the message. Every one of these actions communicates the same hidden message. Your attention decides my mood. The fix is simple. Change the rhythm. When you text, be fully there. Send short, clear, warm messages. No long essays, no over-editing, no trying to sound perfect. Once you've sent it, put your phone down and return to your life. Don't count minutes. Don't stalk her profile. When you're busy, be busy. When you're available, be genuinely present. That rhythm shows her something powerful, that you actually have a full life outside of her replies. You're not sitting on hold, waiting for her to make you feel okay. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop chasing online, she begins to invest more. Longer replies, thoughtful words, even her initiating contact. Why does this work? Because space pulls harder than pressure. When you don't fill every gap with need, you give her room to lean in. Online or offline, the rule stays the same. Gravity doesn't chase. It simply pulls by being steady. The 3 hidden mistakes that break your power. Even the best approach falls apart if you slip into the wrong mindset. The idea of holding your center is strong, but there are 3 mistakes that quietly kill it if you don't notice them. Mistake 1. Acting cold. Some men think don't chase means pretending not to care. They delay replies on purpose, ignore messages, or put on a tough mask. But that's still performance. It's just another way of seeking approval. People can sense it. Fix: don't pretend. Genuinely focus on your own world, your health, work, passions, peace. From there, You can care about her naturally without needing her reaction to feel secure. Mistake 2. Carrying bitterness. Some try to use this method to gain control or to get even. That energy is sharp and unpleasant. It doesn't attract, it repels. Fix. Keep your motives clean. Use this mindset to stay grounded and honest, not to punish or manipulate. Mistake 3. Chasing results. Once things start working, many get hooked on the reactions. They start needing the success itself for validation. Fix. Remember, the outcome is just a side effect. The real win is becoming a man who doesn't need chasing or proving in the first place. Avoid these traps and your presence stays authentic, not an act. Becoming, not performing. This path isn't about pickup lines, clever tricks, or wearing a mask. It's about removing the habits that hide your natural pull. When you stop trying to prove yourself, your presence grows calm and steady. Conversations flow easier. You stop bending your time and energy around others. Real attraction rises when need disappears. Anxiety fades, what-ifs vanish, and what's left is genuine interest built on respect. So when that old urge to chase shows up, at work, at a party, or on your phone, pause. Notice it. Breathe. Choose to stay centered. Let space exist. Let your life carry weight. And if you want a phrase to lock this mindset in, use these words as your anchor. The one who attracts does not chase. Not as a trick, but as a truth of who you are.